Hello, Cameron, Steve Sexton here. Hey, look, just want to make sure you know some of the notes. We have Klesh on for episode 176 here, and we're going to start in 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Hello, welcome to the Saving with Steve show, where we talk about the ins and outs of money, pretty much everything under the sun that relates to you having a happier, healthier relationship with money. I want to thank you for joining us today. I do want to thank you for sharing this with your friends, family, and associates. Our viewership and listenership is well over 700,000 now, so we're very thankful for you just sharing this with us. Now, spring's on the way, okay? Some places still got a little snow here and rain and all that stuff, but many are trying to plan for the next travel adventure. How would you like to go on vacation of your dreams? Those dream vacations are typically daunting and way beyond your budget. Don't worry, we have Coach Chris here. He's going to teach us how to all the travel precautions, how to plan that trip, the insider tips and tricks to going on your dream vacation without breaking the bank. Sometimes as much as 90% off. You're going to want to stick around for that interview. But first, let's talk about what's going on in the market and how it's going to affect you, the whole shot. So, folks, at this day, we're going to take what is it going to take for a major downturn in the market? Cameron, scratch that. Let's start over. Folks, as of this day, it's going to take a major event for the market to downturn. This unrealistic exuberance that we're seeing right now, it's just like we were in 1999, 2007, 2022. We have things that are just not realistic. The events that took down, those were, the tech bubble, the mortgage crisis, as well as the pandemic. Let's take a moment and get to the nitty-gritty of what's happening to make the market go down. Right now, we're in a period of unrealistic exuberance. Right now, we're in a period of it's just euphoric, and we have to take a step back. The reason why is because we're all at different stages of life. You know what? We were 50 years old, like we were in 2008 when, that it hit then. Most of you are listening to me today. You know what? You're in your 50s, 60s, 70s, and 80s. We need to take a step back and talk about what's really happening. Talk a lot about purpose versus performance and the need to make your obligated money isolated from all those different economic storms that can attack your lifestyle. Think about what's going on today. The market right now, everybody's talking about the Magnificent Seven. Think the Magnificent Seven, yes, yet it's the S&P 500. And yet it's the Magnificent Seven. It's not really the Magnificent Seven. It's actually the Final Four. It's almost like that basketball tournament that's going on right now. When you think about that, as those markets are being propped up on the backs of 2, maybe 4 stocks, and if you look at the returns of those 4 stocks versus that of the rest of the S&P, there's a massive disparity. Remember what's happened in 1999. Back in the infancy when many of you started investing, some of you might remember, okay, we didn't feel it when we were younger because we had a job to back you up. In 2007, again, unrealistic exuberance. It took an event to burst the bubble. My question to you, do you feel we're in a bubble today? Because the definition of 2 to 4 stocks carrying the enormous weight of the entire market, to me, my definition, and most of the experts out there would call it a bubble. It could take a major event. Now, what could that event be? Think geopolitical. Think about what's happening in Russia, Gaza, the supply chain issues in China, the disruption in the supply chain issues because of the Red Sea issues, as well as the impact that just happened in the Baltimore Harbor. What's important is to talk about the aspects of money. We need to have a clear understanding of the functionality of our money. The money we have worked so hard for, saved for so many years, because so much of our money is caught or invested in one area, and that area is performance. Once we are in retirement, there's money that is 100% obligated to support and maintain your lifestyle. And it's referred to as purpose money. This money supports and maintains your lifestyle. It covers your healthcare costs, not only now, but later in life. Time is not an ally of purpose money, because if you need it now. If the purpose money's not protected, your options are going to be reducing your lifestyle or cannibalizing your assets. Performance money, on the other hand, is money that's not obligated to you. Money that is here today, gone tomorrow. It doesn't have an effect on your everyday life. Time is the ally of performance money, because if you look at all the studies, it might go up and down like that, but somewhere down in the future, it's going to be higher. Given time, God willing, everybody survives a virus, okay? And at some point in the future, your money will grow back. The question you want to have now is this: should your purpose money be obligated to what's going on or be subject to what's going on in the market right now? Something to ponder on today. Hey, look, guys, I want to thank you for joining us today here on Saving with Steve. We're going to be right back, and I'm going to introduce you to Klesh. So stick with us, and we'll be right back. Hi, Chris. Oh. Hmm. Okay. Hi,
Oh,
Chris.
hi.
Can't see you yet, but
Well, let me see. Start video here.
how you doing?
I'm surviving here.
Well, that works.
I'm in Florida, and
Do me a
I love
favor and
Florida.
turn your camera down just an inch, just a little bit. Okay, that's perfect. Okay, that's perfect.
Yeah.
That's perfect. That works real well. Okay, because before you look like Kilroy. Uh, so I've already done my first segment. I'm gonna just introduce you, and we're gonna go ahead and get started. Again, we're talking about the precautions, planning, reducing costs on the big travel expenses, which you've done 100 times before.
Yeah. Few
Okay,
hundred.
at least that. So here we go. Cameron, we're moving into segment 2 with Klesh. So here we go. Hey, welcome back to the Saving with Steve show, where we talk about the ins and outs of money. Pretty much everything under the sun that relates to you having a healthier, happier relationship with money. I want to thank you for joining us. I want to thank you for sharing with your friends. Got over 700,000 listeners, and we're really grateful for all that. All the replays are available at www.savingwithsteve.us. If you're enjoying the stories like you will today, of helpful information and insights on Saving with Steve, and I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a show. Check out a few of our affiliates at UK Health Radio. And you know what? Uh, all these networks are dedicated to empowering you to solve your problems, uplift your spirit, and live a life of personal and financial freedom. By the way, you can also follow us on Facebook at Saving with Steve Sexton. Check out the Insiders Club, get all the gifts, the whole shot. What I'd like to do right now is just introduce you to Coach Chris. See, spring's on the way. Many people are trying to travel for that next plan for the next travel adventure. How would you like to go on the vacation of your dreams? Those dream vacations are typically daunting, very expensive. Don't worry, we have Coach Chris here. He's going to teach us how to deal with all the travel precautions, the insider tips and tricks, and going on your dream vacation without breaking your bank. So with that, I want to introduce you to Coach Chris. Coach, thanks for joining us today.
Thanks, Steve. It's a pleasure to be here again.
I'm really happy. Our listeners love you. They love the information that you provide. But let's get to it. We're going to be talking today about precautions, planning, and how to save some money. So let's first of all start talking about travel precautions. What are the things that people need to be, prepare for before they go on that trip from a precaution standpoint?
Well, again, they have to plan in advance, leave more time to get to the airport. One tip, if you do fly often or even a few times a year, get the TSA membership. It speeds you through the lines, that sort of thing. Get the apps of your airlines on your phone so you could check before you go to the airport if your flight's on time, canceled, look at other options, etc. So in this busy summer travel time, that's a good tip to start off. And also, if you're staying at locations, I'd avoid Airbnb. I mean, my opinion, because you're much better off running a timeshare from one of the hotel chains, because it meets their safety security standards. Whereas you stay at an Airbnb or a guest at somebody's home and you don't know what sanitary security measures there are. Plus, you're not going to get the full resort amenities. So those are a couple of tips I'd keep about. But in this busy season, also check alternate airports. A lot of times in your area, like I'm coming out to California the last week of June, I'm going to look to save money, whether I'm better off flying in your neighborhood in San Diego, Orange County, John Wayne, or LAX. There's going to be a big difference of flight times, convenience. So, and same thing where I'm in Florida. I'm in Palm Beach area. When I take a trip back, to California or anywhere, I'll check all three airports, Fort Lauderdale, where I live, Palm Beach, as well as Miami. Now, we're fortunate in Florida to have a high-speed rail, goes 110 miles an hour right into the airport. So it makes, if you have to get to the airport, you don't have to worry about dropping yourself off, transportation. So it facilitates getting to the least expensive, most convenient airport.
That's wonderful. Now, let's talk about planning. How do we go about planning the next trip? Obviously we get all the precautions prepared for the airport. So let me ask you this. I know you go to Europe. When you're going to Europe, what are the things that you should be concerned about when you're going to Europe? What are the things that you should plan for, especially if you're taking a trip there? What would be the steps to take?
Again, number one rule, plan in advance. If you know you want to go to Europe, look at the off season, check what airlines go there. In other words, there's a lot of airlines fly to Europe. There's a lot of reciprocity on airlines, credits card, and their miles and loyalty programs. So if you have a lot of miles, let's say with Delta or American or United, see what European airlines accept their currency, so to speak, that you could utilize on their trips. Same thing with American Express. They have membership miles. See what European airlines they're in partnership with to use your basically loyalty frequent flyer currency. I would also plan again on the off season. And again, like I've told your audience before, don't always think about hotels, hotels, hotels. Look at all the major hotel chains and non-hotel chains have timeshares, vacation clubs all over Europe. I know Marriott does, Hilton, etc. Look at that option as opposed to hotels.
Okay, so now we get into, hey, here's the precautions, here's what we need to do. So how do we go about finding some great deals on travel?
Yeah, well, the two biggest aspects, as I've told your audience before, to travel are airline charges and accommodations. That accounts to studies say about 85, 90%. And
Mm-hmm.
again, with airlines, pick your destination that you want to go to. It's on your bucket list, family reunion, vacation, etc., and find out what airline goes there. You could Google that, and then if you don't have their bank sponsored credit card, get it. Get the sign up bonus because every airline, as I mentioned to your audience before, I don't care if it's Southwest, United, uh, American, Delta, your people go in your area to Hawaii, Loa, Hawaiian Air, they all have a bank sponsored credit card and they have sign up bonuses. You spend X amount of money and you get miles up front, and then you don't pay also luggage check in. And a lot of the credit cards you get priority boarding. So figure out where you want to go, investigate what airline takes you there, and then make sure you and your spouse get their credit cards. And that's how you're going to fly for free, basically. A little planning in advance. You have to spend a minimum, but if you learn the tricks, like I tell people, you could put your car insurance, like I do, with homeowners insurance. It adds up on the credit cards to get the initial spending amount done, and you're going to save a heck of a lot of money. So again, plan the trip, the destination, figure out what airline goes there, and make sure you have that airline's bank sponsored credit card. Each one, whether it's Southwest, like I said, United, American, Delta, they all have them.
Well, it was interesting you said that because I just got a notification. Southwest has, if you sign up and spend $5,000, they'll give you 100,000 points.
Yeah, I mean, that's the way to go. And then you leverage that. Think about it. If you're married, you get one. Once you do the minimum spending or whatever, and your spouse get one, it adds up. And if you have a business like you do or I do, you get the business version of the card. So that's an additional leverage point. And these things, they do add up. Now, another tip while we're on this subject is the currency value of these frequent flyer miles for an inflationary cycle have gone way, way up. In other words, you used to fly round trip with 25, 30,000 miles. Now they want 75, 100,000 miles. So after you accumulate the loyalty miles, just be cognizant, plan in advance. You might have to make 2 stops instead of one to save 50% day of the week. I mean, there's a wide gamut of the number of points you need for a trip. So it takes, if you're trying to save the most money, like I do and my clients do, after you have the frequent flyer miles, you go to the app of the airline of your choice and look at the options, the different days of the week, whether you want to make 1 stop, 2 stops, etc. I use myself as an example. I came back from at the end of the ski season from Reno back to Florida, and and I have plenty of American airline miles. But by making one extra stop that cost me another 2 hours, I saved like 40,000 frequent flyer points. And if you know, that's the equivalent of $400. So for me, an hour or 2 hours of my time is certainly worth $400. So it's a game, but be cognizant and learn the rules, how to play the game. It changes every day.
I was just going to say we played that game too. We were planning a trip to Europe, and I have a daughter that lives out of state, so we were thinking about, hey, we'll fly you into LAX, which is cheaper to go over and all that kind of stuff. And when we figured it all out, we saved the equivalent of $300 per ticket and obviously points by actually taking a flight from LAX to London, a $50 flight to Paris, a $50 flight to Ireland, and the flight home from Ireland to LAX, just because it's on a Friday. We are actually spending the equivalent of about $900 when it should be $1,400 per ticket. So that's $2,000 off for the four of us. We're loving that. The
Yeah,
other,
you hit the nail on the head. It does take some time. That's to be a travel coach, guru, hacking, it takes a little bit of time and effort, but you could save a heck of a lot of money that way. Do your research, plan in advance, like you said, look at alternative airports, alternative days, and just, add one and one is two and just figure it out easy. How could you save 900, 1,000, especially for a family traveling? A single person, it might be different, but when you're on a family reunion, family vacation, you put all the travel costs together and makes a heck of a lot of time. Again, look for different days, be flexible on your days of the week because there's a big difference in the mileages. Once you have these cards and miles to use, days of the week change, plan in advance, and look at alternative airports, just like you've stated.
yeah, it's interesting because it took about 2 weeks. But what was really interesting, the more my wife checked, the more notifications she got for lower prices.
Yeah.
And then when it got down to it, they were trying. It was so funny because they were like, it was so much more expensive to leave from London. But Dublin's just a smaller airport. It's an international airport, but it's a smaller one. And we were really surprised it was that less expensive. And obviously, they don't have as many travelers as Heathrow or Gatwick does or anything like that. So it was just very interesting. So
Yeah, it makes a big difference. My son is a big shot accountant, auditor. He's just spent a month in Australia, on business, and then in New Zealand. He just checked, because I'm his father. This is how you do it, and he wound up saving thousands in his flights, just being flexible, doing the extra research. International flights, because the longer you fly international, that's the big savings are there.
oh yeah, oh yeah. So hey, look, we're gonna take a break and be real. Folks, we're gonna take a break and be right back with more Saving with Steve and Coach Chris. So stick with us. Okay. So next we're going to be talking about how the timeshare. So if you could talk about the different websites and stuff like that about
Yeah,
the
sure.
timeshares, that would be wonderful. So here we go. Hello, welcome back to the Saving with Steve show where we talk about the ins and outs of money. We're back here with Coach Chris Klesh. He's the guru. You know what? We've been talking about how to save money on mileage. One of the things I do want to add, you know what? We have actually gotten multiple credit cards with the different airlines. We've got one with Marriott. We got one with Hyatt. They're offering 180,000 points, which really helped a lot when we were with our European travel. So, you know, it's nice to get a lot for free, and all you really have to do is, you know, bill a certain amount to them. And I love that. Now, one of the big things with travel is actually accommodations. And there's a number of ways that you can reduce and eliminate the cost besides using points. And that's one of the reasons why Chris is here. And you know what? He's just going to talk about how we can lower the cost when it comes to accommodations. So, Chris, what's the best way to go about doing that?
Yeah, like I mentioned to your audience on previous shows, accommodations are, in other words, number one or two, what it costs. And instead of, like you mentioned, a good point. Let me just expound on that. All the hotel chains, the major hotel chains, come with credit cards. And if you want to stay in hotels, sign up for their credit cards, like Bonvoy, which covers Marriott, the Ritz Carlton, Westin, Starwood. They have sign up bonuses where you get Bonvoy points, 150,000 points. The one credit card, they have one with American Express and one with Chase. So again, if you do the initial spending, you get free nights with the renewal of your card. So if you need to stay in hotels, get the credit cards with the hotels, and it's another way. But really, for accommodations, a typical family vacation, trip, etc., I say stay away from hotels if you don't have to stay in hotels. Why? So I told your audience before. Why? Because Marriott, Hilton, Hyatt, Westin, Disney, Starwood, Wyndham, even the Ritz Carlton, they're all hotel chains. We've all stayed there. But they all have timeshare. They don't call them timeshares anymore. It's a bad connotation because all the false selling practices of the timeshare companies. They call them vacation clubs. You can rent from an owner now, never rent from the hotel chain. The owner's maintenance prices have gone way up. My prices have gone up 40% for maintenance, which means it's supply and demand. You're the financial planner. It's all capitalism, supply and demand. That means owners are trying to get back their maintenance charge. So what they're doing is renting out their vacation clubs, timeshares at all these resort locations around the world at a very discounted rate. Whoever has the lowest price on the internet, and you're going to get a one bedroom that sleeps four, two bedroom sleeps eight, even three bedroom units at the top quality resorts. They all come with full resort amenities. By that, I mean full kitchen, washer dryers in a room, Wi-Fi, three flat screen TVs, plus the resort amenities, the swimming pools, activities. Some come with free golf, and they're all over the world, whether you want a vacation to Hawaii, Aruba, Europe, etc. So the two uh, resources for your audience to use where not renters, owners put their units for renters to rent on the timeshare locations are redweek.com, redweek.com, and the other one is Timeshare Users Group, tug2.com. And that'll give you a list. You put in the location, you put in the area you want a vacation, it'll give you a listing of owners that are trying to get back their maintenance. They're going to rent out units, trust me, for less than Motel 6 prices, where you're going to stay in luxury accommodations, one, two, three bedroom units for such a low cost. And they come, again, there's no service charges. You don't pay hotel taxes. You don't pay sales taxes, etc. You deal with the owner. Just be cognizant. Make sure there's a lot of scammers out there that you get a lease, you get the official verification from the person renting the timeshare that their name is on the deed. You check with the hotel. You make a safety call, and you handle everything. You just follow through. And that's the way to save 70, 80, 90% on your accommodations. And it applies to Europe too. There's these timeshares all over Paris, Spain, uh, London, England, Ireland, Italy, etc., Greece. They might not be all hotel chains, but again, the same thing as owners own them. They're not using them, and they're just trying to get back some of their maintenance charges. They're willing to rent them out. And it's much better than Airbnb because you're going to get resort amenities, swimming pools, and if it is a hotel chain, you're going to get the safety, the sanitization, of the hotel company that manages that place. So you're going to get safety, security, and more amenities for less cost. So for
And
accommodations, I recommend that.
so I'm just gonna share my, our planning. We're, like I said, we're gonna leave from Dublin, but we're actually staying in a 200-year-old castle that there's a number of rooms that are timeshares. But these rooms are 3-bedroom rooms. They have big sofas. They actually come with pianos. This is the place that has the, you know, 50-yard pool, gigantic pool, and overlooks the ocean the whole shot. And we're getting it for essentially 10 cents on what a room actually costs. 10
Yeah,
cents on the
so
dollar.
like I said, 10 cents on a dollar. People don't believe me, and I'm glad you're there to substantiate. My biggest problem, been in this business for 15 or 20 years, speaking around the country, people don't believe it's possible to do this, but it is. I do it, and especially in today's time. Again, we're in a divided country without getting into politics. All of us need to retreat, relax, renew, rejoice, and and remember. We got to create those memories and experiences. Inflation's way up there. Like I said, in travel, it's not 3% or 4%, it's 300%. So you can still live the dream. We travel again, another one of my sound bites, as you know, we travel not to escape life, but
Mhm.
for life not to escape us. So you don't have to be rich to live rich. Just use some of these tips that I've given to you on your shows. They could go to my website again, CoachChrisSpeaks.com. Again, I repeat, CoachChrisSpeaks.com. I have a YouTube channel with about 15 or 20 YouTubes. Just go to Coach Chris Speaks on YouTube. Some more travel tips and etc. Again, I'm going to repeat myself now to your audience, the middle class now, the baby boomers, people want to travel, the family reunions, etc. Live the dream. I don't care if it's a vacation, you just want to sit out on Maui, or do you want to go to a park? You want to ski like me? I spent 2 months in Vail skiing. And I think I told your audience last time, I saved $80,000 by being in a timeshare. A hotel goes for $1,300 a night plus $80 to park your car. And I have a 1 bedroom, 2 bath, sleep six, full kitchen, balcony, the whole thing, washer, dryer, a garage, clubhouse, weight room, sauna, steam room, free transportation, and my cost of goods are about 15% of a hotel, and I'm sleeping six with 2 full bathrooms. So it can be done.
Mhm.
I'm there to help people. And again, I think if they have an association meeting, I speak for a living at associations as a breakout session speaker. So if you have a group that you think this type of advice might benefit your audience or your meetings, uh, your members of the association, by all means, all the information's on my website. Give me a call, and I'll be glad to help you out.
I just want to share something. I was just looking at Red Week, and I was looking at the Waikoloa Beach. This is the Bay Club, very expensive place, $600-700 a night. A 2-bedroom unit. That means it sleeps a whole bunch. It's only $279 a night. 700 down to 279. What a heck of a savings. A lot of people can afford to go to that place and enjoy
Yeah,
Hawaii.
and the key here now is you don't have to own to rent. All these units are legitimate. The renters own them, like myself. I own a lot. I put them on the internet. I'm practically giving them away. Oceanfront units, I can't use them. I got to pay my maintenance. I'm just looking to make some money back to pay my maintenance. And who gets the benefit? It's the renter. They're staying at these high class resorts with all these amenities, without paying sales tax, and they're getting the biggest bang for their vacation dollar. So it's definitely the way to go.
Chris, I want to thank you for being on the show today. You're really a source of knowledge for helping people travel the world for a lot less than what it should cost and to help them plan the right way. So thanks for being on the show. How can people get a hold of you if they need to?
Yeah, again, just go to coachchrisspeaks.com. All my contact information is there, phone number, email, etc. Feel free to call me. People just mentioned they heard me on your show. I'll give them a free consultation, point them in the right direction. Because as you know, Steve, everybody's travel desires and needs are different. So there's a different solution for everybody. You're going to Europe, other people just want to go to Hawaii. Like I said, I'm a ski bum, so I go to skiing. Other people want to go to Vegas, Disney World, New York. There's a different solution for everybody, but your audience should know you can do it in luxury now, not Motel 6, in total 4, 5-star luxury for pennies on the dollar. It's possible.
Thanks, Chris. I appreciate you being here with us today. Everybody, thanks for joining us today. Again, the replays are available at www.savingwithsteve.us. If you have any, enjoy the stories of helpful information, just like Chris shared with us today. I encourage you to subscribe to our YouTube channel so you never miss a show. Check out a few of our affiliates at UK Health Radio, BBS Radio, Talk Radio New York City, E360 TV. All these networks are dedicated to empowering you to live a life of personal and financial freedom. So with that, I want to thank you all for joining us. I hope you have a wonderful week, and we'll look forward to seeing you next time. Bye-bye. Okay, we can stop that. Thanks, Chris. I appreciate that.
Yeah, well, when are you traveling, did you say? I didn't hear.
I'm going in, we're going at the end of June for 2 weeks. We found that London, we're only going to Paris for 3 days, but Paris is crazy because the Olympics will start 2 weeks later. But I found out from a friend of mine who's a travel concierge in England. And when I was working there, he's a travel concierge. Now he's like a bigwig with that. He just said, Steve, here's where you stay. This is where the cheapest is going to be. This is where you're going to be able to do all this stuff. But if you are here past this date, he goes, that's when all the crowds come in. So we're leaving that Friday, I think the 12th or something like that. And he says that weekend, that's where the volume of the hotels are going to pick up. That's where the people are going to be picking up. Not everybody can stay in Paris, so they're staying in London because they can just take the tube under the channel every day. Although it's $200 a shot, they can take the tube every day. And for the millions of people that will be in Paris, it'll be very tough for, that's why everybody's going to, in London and stuff like that. So, and he said he recommended that we do Ireland at the end of the trip because when you get there, everybody's going to be filing into London and Paris, so nobody's going to be in Dublin. So that's one of the reasons why we were lucky enough to get the timeshare there. We're staying at the Fitzpatrick Castle in Killarney, which overlooks the ocean, has all sorts of stuff. It has one of those, what do you call that? Old Roman pool that has the pillars on. It's all inside, has pillars and everything, and it's gigantic. I don't know if we'll swim, but we want to go travel and go to the Scotch and beer factories and all that kind of stuff.
Well, you have a great time. You deserve it. You seem like a perfect person to take my advice. We travel not to escape life where we can. We're healthy. Take advantage of it. Just be a little flexible. Off season, do the research. It's an excellent tip. Dealing with local concierges out there that know where to go, what to do, etc. That's another tip. So I give you credit for that. I'll add that to my arsenal. So
okay, so what he is he's a travel concierge. So the way I met him is he picked up. I used to work for a guy when he sent me to England. He flew over there, found this travel concierge, and this guy drove us around to Stonehenge, Salisbury Cathedral, the Roman baths in the town of Bath. What he did is gave us the whole history lesson of what was going on, how it worked, and all that. Otherwise, we would have just picked up, got to a bunch of stones and said, well, okay, we've been to Stonehenge, bye. But he had this special pass, so we actually got up to touch the stones. We went to go see the Magna Carta, which is at the Salisbury Cathedral. There's only, if you remember the history, there's 4 of them. There's one of them there. We got to go down and see that. They have a similar mechanism like they do in the Declaration of Independence, where it goes down 4 stories. And it was just a wonderful day with this guy, and I got to know him. And we've been touching base back and forth every once in a while when I travel. He hooked me up with how to get a after hours tour of the Vatican Museum, which was
That's great. So you
awesome.
certainly do your homework. That's the key to everything. I tell people is, do a little bit of homework. It's certainly going to pay dividends, and I can see, you do your homework. So I think that's fantastic. So you're not going to be here. I was going to say because I'm coming out to California, Newport Coast, the last week of June. But you're going to be gone then? Did you say?
Yeah, I have I belong to a study group which I'm going to the week before, and then on that I think it's that Sunday or Saturday, which
Yeah,
is
the
the
reason I
30th.
say because I was going to be in the area, stop down, drive, and finally meet you in person. Because I'll probably be visiting. I told you I have a friend that runs the golf thing at Torrey Pines. I'll be in the
Oh,
San Diego area for a few days. In fact, he's going to stay with me. I'm staying at the Marriott's, another great resort, Newport Coast Villas, right there in Newport Coast between Laguna Beach, Newport Beach. And again, they can rent from an owner. People in your area that don't want to get on a plane, drive up there and sleep safe. You're right on the ocean. It's another local type drive to resort from your geographic area.
mhm,
People consider,
mhm.
for renting, family reunions, that sort of thing. So that's the way to go.
Yeah, Newport Coast isn't cheap. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, Chris, I'm sorry to do this to you, but I have to run because I have an appointment in a minute.
Yeah,
So
sure.
you have
Well,
a
stay
wonderful day.
stay stay in touch, and the way you could help me again, I'm look for speaking engagements, organizations, associations that might get some value out of me appearing in person.
Okay, I'll definitely. You be safe, and we'll talk to you soon. Okay.
Yeah, if I don't speak to you, you just have a great trip, and I'll say a prayer for you and enjoy it. Take plenty of pictures, record those memories and experiences. You build a legacy on your iPhone.
Yeah, my wife is really good at that. I'll
All
see you.
right, have a
Bye
good
bye.
week, Frank. Thanks again. It's always a pleasure to be on your show. Thank you for the opportunity.
You got it. See you, Chris.
Bye.